everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Aaron Nahara, head of content here at Polarr Next. In today's video, I'm thrilled to host Annie and David, a wedding photography couple from the vibrant streets of San Francisco. We'll explore their photographic saga, the shift in their editing practices, and their experience using Polarr Next to edit their wedding photos. You're also gonna get a little sneak peek at the new AI masking tools our team has been working on. Thank you for hitting that like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. How's it going, Annie and David? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me on video today to talk about Polarr Next and your experience with it. Before we dive into all that, I wanna know more about you two. So you can just say your names, where you're from, and what do you do?
Yeah, so we're Annie and David. We're a husband and wife team. We live in the beautiful Bay Area. We started our wedding photography almost 10 years ago, 9 years and a half. Almost 10 years ago, we were planning our own wedding and I saw so many photographers' website. And then I thought to myself, I think I can do this. I am always the artsy person. And we already have a few cameras at home, so we just started playing with it. We started with a free family session, I think, back in the days. And then we somehow got into wedding photography as we're shooting our first wedding. And I told myself, oh my God, I think this is it. And then we started, slowly expand our business into proposals, all of the whole wedding journey thing.
Yeah.
And we love it. Yeah. And the rest is history.
So, David, were you like fully on board with that too, with Annie, just from the get-go, or?
I was totally on board. I've always been a nerd at heart. You can tell from my shirt. Very. So we had a bunch of cameras. I loved playing with them. I loved exploring more of the sciencey, nerdy side. How does the camera work? The optics, that kind of thing. Annie was always more the artsy one, and so we make a good combination. So I was excited to put our equipment to good use.
What was the price that you charged for your first wedding?
Our first wedding was about $600.
I think we charged
$650 or something.
Yeah,
it was like $500 or $600. Yeah,
but it was a very short.
It was like 2 or 3 hours on a cruise boat. So
okay.
I think the first mostly full day wedding we shot, I think that was
in Palo Alto, the one in Palo Alto.
It was like 900 something.
So it wasn't that bad, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking back, it was.
We didn't really know what we're doing, but we just went with it. But we're the kind of people who do a lot of homework. So yeah, we were pretty well prepared.
That's good. I was going to ask too, like before you got into shooting that, I know you're doing other things, but how long had you been shooting before you started your first wedding?
As a hobby, I had been shooting since I was a kid. So
okay.
But not seriously. Just I'd play with the cameras. I like to take photos of Annie, of our dogs. So I had lots of different equipment to play with. I kind of knew what everything did, and I was familiar with all those things.
Yeah.
I think I first officially touched a DSLR when we're at the first ever official shoot, right, for the family.
Yeah, one of our free shoots.
I think I was totally tagging along, like, David, I'm gonna let you lead, and I would just be here and I'll just chime in whenever you need me. And I was posing them. I was trying to interact with them, but I actually did not know what those buttons do. I was watching a lot of online videos because we're completely self-taught.
Yeah.
Figuring out, the exposure, the aperture and everything. I was freaking out, but the first ever session turned out pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So along those same lines, how much experience did you have with photo editing before your first wedding? What programs were you using and were you comfortable with that?
Probably zero.
Yeah, like none at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what year was this? So we can give more context.
This was 2014.
2014 in the springtime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Early 2014. Yeah. No, we almost never edited photos before that because they were just mostly personal photos. So editing was a new journey. Like I think we tried a few programs, but we settled on Lightroom pretty quickly. That just seemed to be where most people were headed. And it worked out pretty well for us. And we still use Lightroom these days.
What was your editing workflow at the time back then? 2014, 2015-ish.
Back then, do you still remember?
I don't remember the specifics.
Felt like
I think
last life.
Yeah, not so long ago. It's actually not too different than it is now.
Mm-hmm. We've definitely been fine-tuning our whole process, but it's probably not much different.
Yeah, it has. I would say there's been evolutionary changes, not revolutionary changes, since then. But it's mostly we would import the photos into Lightroom, apply some base preset, and then do tweaks on top of that. But like the kind of the steps in between and how we do those things have changed a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
Like the macro level is approximately that.
Mm-hmm. And what changes would those be? Is it by way of like a new external culling program or new external like photo editing program outside of Lightroom?
So we do outsource culling now for weddings.
Okay.
We have an editor do a first pass through the gallery to do culling, and then Annie will fine tune that. We'll go through that and do another round of culling. But that first round saves a lot of time. Editing, we still do all the editing ourselves. I guess over the years we use Photoshop more now than we used to. Right.
Yes.
Like we'll go from Lightroom into Photoshop and do some tweaks. And like Photoshop has gotten so much better. It's so much easier now to do certain things.
Yeah.
Like
we generally only use Photoshop for getting rid of the unwanted objects and to clean up the background a little bit for like photos like this that's super clean, has a super clean background. That's our signature look. And other than that, we don't really use Photoshop. I would say that we still don't use Photoshop a lot these days.
Yeah.
For one wedding, maybe I use it for like 2 or 3 photos. That's it.
Would you give yourself a ballpark of how many weddings you shoot a year?
Yeah, we do about 20, 25 weddings. I think we've decided that one of our goals is not to shoot 50, whatever, a lot of weddings. It gets kind of exhausting. Even like suppose we didn't do any editing or culling at all. It's just exhausting to shoot that many and to like. It's very hard to form that personal connection with our couples if we shoot so many weddings. So I think like 20, 25 is where we want to be. The thing is, culling is kind of painful. It's, you're looking at the same photos over and over again, and it's a little bit painful. So having someone do the first pass of that is really helpful to take away the bulk of that work. And then editing is kind of fun and enjoys that. So it's not.
I've heard different opinions. I've heard from other friends who absolutely hated the editing process, but they love the culling. They can cull a full wedding within a few hours. I cannot do that. But I actually enjoy my editing process. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about this culling and editing and perhaps the future with AI and stuff. So 2 of the ones that I'm very familiar with, Aftershoot and Imagine AI, culling, AI culling, things like that. Was that ever something that you were interested in, or you guys are just super content with your friends overseas helping you guys?
We actually did try Aftershoot and Filter Pixel for AI culling. The tools are pretty useful, like the grouping, like you mentioned, and also some of them will show the faces, like they'll show a group of the faces zoomed in, so you can see everyone's eyes. Those are useful. But the AI culling we found was pretty subpar. I think 70% kind of hits it, but like that's so low that it's not helpful because you have to do almost a full cull after that.
Yeah.
So we kind of gave up on the AI culling.
Now let's talk about the AI editing of things. Annie, I guess you really like to edit and stuff. Has Imagine or Aftershoot or like Batch Edit, any of those programs out there caught your eye as far as editing and letting someone else do it for you?
I've been very traditional and very conservative in this sense. We considered outsourcing it to other people, but I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And it's just because, I still enjoy the process. So I'm more comfortable doing it on my own. Culling, I'm more comfortable, outsourcing it to other people. But we've heard a lot of other editing tool, but we're just so in our bubble that we just want to stay in our bubble, in our comfort zone. We never switch to anything else.
Did you ever try any of the programs?
I don't think so.
I don't think we've
for
tried
the editing
those.
ones, no.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about it, it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of time to invest to learn a program, to deal with it. When I first started with Imagine and I was creating my own profile, it was like, wow, upload 5,000 images to create your own first profile. And that was a lot more difficult than I thought. And to have a really like 5,000 strong images with the same look and everything to start off, it was difficult. And so what ate at me was that I would get the edits back in Lightroom and then I would still edit them. And then I'm like, oh, I feel like I just wasted all that money. You know what I mean? And I just wish that I could have some kind of creative control before it exported and delivered versus, what we're going to talk about very soon. What was your first impression with the team? Like, how did they reach out to you? What was like their question that they used when they reached out to you guys?
How did they reach out?
I think through email.
I don't remember.
Was that a Facebook post?
It was a while ago. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And to be honest, we've been interacting with a few other teams who did similar projects. AI calling.
That was Filter Pixel. And
AI calling. And so we actually did some testing for them too. So when Polarr Next reached out to us, I thought, oh, it's just one of those teams, and why not? Let's give it a try. And David's all into, he's super big on this technology thing. So, yeah. Are you trying to?
I think it was on Instagram because, I think.
Oh, we had our first Zoom meeting with them.
I don't actually know who it was, but somebody DM'd us on Instagram.
And so what like interested you about it? I know you touched on like you've done these things before for Aftershoot Imagine, but anything else that interested you about trying it out? Yeah,
for sure. So, like I said, I'm super like a nerd at heart, and I love seeing technology being applied for things like this. And I think the photo editing and also culling spaces is an interesting field that it's going to see a lot of evolution and developments in the next few years. And I wanted to be part of it to see how it would grow and see a new player enter the field.
Can you tell us when you started? What month that was?
Yeah. My emails will tell you. I can't remember.
He's super organized.
I think it was in May.
Okay. May. Oh, that's a good month. Okay. Wow. So it's been quite a bit. And I know we were sending you some links last minute today because there's just always new updates and new tools being pumped out. But from where it was in May to where the program is now, like, do you feel like they've listened to your feedback? Do you feel like they've taken everything that you gave them and that they've implemented those changes?
They've made so many changes, and a lot of them seemed like they came from our feedback. I mean, we gave them a lot of feedback, and those things appeared like a week later. In May, there was no product. Like there was there just wasn't a product there. They were starting, and so in 7 months, they've built something that basically does what Lightroom does, which is pretty incredible. It runs in the browser and it's pretty fast, which is mind blowing.
I love running in the browser part.
I'm just like, so I'm a software engineer. I'm incredibly impressed by the progress that they've made. Like, I don't know how they're producing so much good functionality in such little time. Like the round trip cycle time is just incredibly fast.
Awesome.
It works well.
All right, well, let's take you for a spin then. Let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to switch our screen and make sure we're both seen. All right, so I'm going to move us over on the right side. Awesome. Right. So I asked Annie and David to prepare some sample catalogs and things, and we'll take it from the import into the reference photos and things like that and see how it goes. Just as a reminder, this is in private beta, so I always look forward to seeing what little bumps or hiccups we might encounter along the way, but we're ready for it.
Let's do that. So I'll create a new project. I will drag a folder into here. And should we try this? We can try using this one.
You want to try that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, we've never tried before, actually.
Let's go. Yeah. Will you be the first one on the video recordings to do it? So
we'll do some more additional edits. All right. Okay, so there's 154 photos here.
I'm like, that will never get old, how fast that thing takes in the RAWs. It's crazy. Well, that just auto straightened too. That was crazy. Like literally right in front of your face. Damn.
Did it choose? No, it didn't choose a reference set.
You can mark as a reference edit.
I guess you can do it yourself.
Yeah. This is by AI.
Whoops.
So
lighting out white balance. Yeah, it is very fast.
Why don't you choose a few, mark those as references, and then we'll see them apply.
You have to edit it first as a reference edit.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we've been playing around with the different iterations of how we bring in projects with references, because sometimes when people would bring in a project, it would only select like one reference photo and you wouldn't see the timeline at the bottom. And so it was just one image. So a lot of our users were like, where's all the rest of our images? And they didn't realize they had to edit that, and then it would produce everything else. So I believe in the bottom left, there's a gear, and you can actually switch a toggle in setup on the left side, and it says comprehensive setup.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember talking about this before.
All right. So what you're seeing here is the comprehensive setup. So it's going to show you that you have about 0 of 12 references edited. The setup process makes it real easy. You can hit that next suggestion, previous suggestion, and it'll just take you around the film strip where those images are. It's pretty fun actually to do. So yeah, let's see how you edit. There you go. Yeah. And when you go around, it's not going to like, you can always go back to where you were. So you can just preview which ones. Is pretty cool. Yeah, when you imported it did the auto exposure and auto white balance already.
Let's see this.
Ooh, that's a beautiful image.
That looks good right there. I'll set it as a reference.
I also noticed you had imported your David Basic with mask preset.
Yes.
So are you going to add that to your references too?
Is it in history?
I think so.
Okay.
Let me check. Oh, it's not?
I only clicked it for the first one.
Let me see.
Ooh, there it is.
It's a very subtle change. It's not.
Those lighter green hues.
Yeah.
Wow, that is such a gorgeous image.
Thank you. She is gorgeous.
All right, almost there. Who is like the main shooter between you two? Annie, do you usually take the lead and then David does all the second shooter responsibilities?
We have our own role. Like I am very good at posing and interacting with people, and I do all the pretty details. And like this shot, I know that is probably me. But David is very quick on his feet, so he gets a lot of good candidates.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and when I'm taking, the more intimate portraits, he's usually far away, getting more like, the whole clean sky, the whole scene photo.
Yeah.
The big scene, small people photo.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a routine of like, during the processional, like who's shooting down the aisle, then who's...
Yes, we definitely have our own roles. You want to talk about that one, right?
Yeah, so like for the processional, for example, Annie's almost always at the front with the groom.
Okay.
As they're walking in. And I'm in the back, like behind the guests.
Mm-hmm.
So typically we'll be shooting at each other, but kind of like offset a little bit so that we're not actually shooting each other.
Okay.
I always like to capture the moment where the groom's looking at the bride walking down the aisle.
Yeah. Yeah.
This photo, I was actually working on this photo last night as one of our sample photos.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
I actually picked this one.
Where is this wedding at, by the way?
This is in Saratoga, in California. It's at a place called Montalvo.
Yeah, I was about to ask you like the crop and the shading. I was like, I hadn't seen you do much, but so far it seems to be doing more of what you want.
It did a little bit on its own.
Mm-hmm.
We'll import it.
There's like something about that setup process progress bar up there that feels a little satisfying, It's like, was that 4 or 5 more images until your whole wedding is edited?
Yes, I love that. Instead of like 500 more photos.
Yeah. And just to go back to, this is your main editing computer?
No, I have a very big computer.
No,
for
this
that.
is
just David's laptop.
Yeah, this is just my laptop that I take around. Our editing machine is in the office, which is super ugly. Yeah, you saw it the other day. But it's a desktop machine, and it's got
Okay.
like two matching screens that are color calibrated. This thing's not calibrated; it's just a MacBook.
Yeah. And desktop machine. So is it a PC or a Mac?
It's Intel.
Oh, okay.
PC.
And would you say that PC is a little bit more beefy and robust, like spec wise, versus this laptop?
Not really, actually. Maybe a little bit. I think it's maybe 9700K or something.
Okay.
It was fast like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that you just jumped on this and just started editing, without, I don't see any lag or any slowdowns or anything.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
It's very fast.
Yeah.
I was saying that how I love Polarr Next is what it's doing right here. From the original to this, I did not do anything. This is automatic. And then I had to this is our own,
style
preset.
right there.
But I can honestly start with this one and skip the preset. Oh, it's also doing this. When I click my own preset, it's also doing this.
Yeah. The laptop is a M1 Mac, so
okay.
The M1 chips they're pretty fast.
And for monitors, what do you folks use? Do you use like the Asus ProArts or something else?
No, we use the B&Q.
Oh, nice.
They're pretty good value, and the ones we have, I think it covers like 99% Adobe RGB, so it has pretty good color gamut.
Nice.
Even though most clients aren't gonna be able to see those colors, it's nice to have them.
Yeah. All right. So when we get out of this, when we create that AI setup, I would love for you guys to check out some of the AI masking as well.
Yeah.
Like on that last one where they're dancing.
Yeah.
Put it to the test.
Okay.
Yeah. Pick one to use for AI masking.
Okay. Do we have one that has more skies?
Sky or people?
Yeah, skies or people. Maybe this one.
I don't know if we need to mask the sky on that one.
Oh yeah, the sky is also
that's pretty
good.
dialed in.
It's already looking good, but we can try one of these. We have.
Ooh, what a nice moment.
Yeah, let's try this one. I like what it was doing earlier.
You probably don't.
Yeah.
Don't need that.
Yeah, I like how it is looking right now. And let's try the mask. We'll do some dramatic subject.
All right. There you go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Got a little bit of the efficient.
Yeah.
But that's where, when we get that brushing in, to be able to just brush away that little bit.
Yeah. I will probably just leave it there because I don't think it actually would impact the photos. That's something that Lightroom would do too.
One easy thing that I do in Lightroom when masking gets too much stuff, I just intersect it with the radial gradient.
Oh.
And that's an easy way to just cut out everything that's not, like if I wanted the bride here, right, I just draw a circle around her and intersect that with the subject mask.
Oh, wow. Nice. I haven't used that before. I'll definitely try that out.
I love how fast it was though.
Yeah.
The whole subject thing, because we all know that in Lightroom it takes it says it will take a few seconds. That's never the case. It's always like 10-15 seconds.
One thing too, when you mark that as a reference, I did notice that it edited also behind you on the timeline.
Yeah.
So if you don't want that to happen, you do have the option to turn that off, so it'll only go forward.
I saw that in the settings. Yeah.
Also, this one is more. Let's try a few different ones. Like this one, I will probably edit a little bit more. Yeah, let's try to do this one. It's already looking good. This is good.
Yeah, it's a nice long veil.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Keep clicking on this thing. Yeah, it's already looking a lot better. This is a reference. Right, and all the portraits here. Let's see.
That's gorgeous.
See that?
This looks good.
Yeah. This is totally deliverable now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder what happened if I do this. Her skin tone looks a little bit too burnt.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Something.
Yeah, that works good.
Looks good. And look at this one. We can try the sky. The sky's looking really pretty. So
You could try adjusting everything but the sky.
Yeah, you can do a sky mask and then invert that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's try that.
The building. So.
Oh, okay, let's try that. We can just select background. Let's try background.
What's background? There's no foreground.
Background. Background is everything except the subject.
But there's no subject.
We'll see.
Yeah, there it is.
So
The planter and those stairs.
Okay, let's not do the background.
You confused it, Nana.
Sky and then invert.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty right on.
Yeah, and then how do I invert?
Try it. Is there an invert button?
It should be above the export. I think on the panel on the right side.
On the right side.
Yeah, there you go.
Invert, yes. Yeah, I remember I saw it.
And then you can click the show overlay button.
Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
See it. Bam, there it is.
Nice.
All right. See that?
Oh, much better.
Yeah, that's much better. And
I got to give a shout out to our developers, though. They really had to work on that sky model.
Yes.
That mask.
We told them we use this a lot.
We use this a lot.
And they made it happen within a week.
Yeah. It can get tricky, too, right? In the leaves, going between the edges of the trees and stuff like that.
It's very smooth. Actually, it's you can see it's very smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hold on. I'm purple and green. I'm turning to the Hulk. What is going on?
Oh.
There we go. All right. Hold on a sec. Bam. There we go. I am afraid that a good portion of our recording has me looking like the Hulk.
Oh, no.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. Well, I mean, I know we got our time limit here, so and we're working on this. I could watch you guys edit this all day.
I know.
But there was
do this all day.
there's that other gallery that you had of those samples.
Yes.
Do you want to take us through that real quick?
Yeah, let's take a look. These are just a few photos.
I did some quick edits last night.
A couple recent photos. These are from the wedding that we were just looking at.
Effortless.
And then there's a couple other ones here.
Mm-hmm.
This one I did the sky. Oh, the one that we used last night was the other beta, so it did not have the sky mask, so I had to do the gradual filter.
Yeah, there's no.
But this one that we used today already has the
Can you do something for me? Let me see that history that you got on the left side. Oh yeah, you did some work there.
Yeah.
It's actually a quick edit for me. It wasn't that bad. It was probably like a 2 minute edit for me.
Yeah,
but I was individually editing these photos. So
these photos are all they're shot in a way that's pretty easy to edit. It's not super tricky. So yeah, editing these are not too bad.
Yeah. Do you tend to underexpose or overexpose when you shoot?
We tend to expose a little bit over.
Okay.
I try really hard to not blow out the highlights. Like you see these skies here.
Yeah.
The photo would be a lot more boring if the skies were all white. So we try hard not to overexpose those. But when there's flexibility, when there's flexibility to do so, we try to overexpose a little bit.
Just a teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Is there anything in your guys' opinion that Polarr Next addresses when it came to like the pain points of photo editing or like your photo editing workflow? It's just something that Polarr Next does that just kind of makes it seem easier or less painful?
The whole process.
Yeah, I mean,
the whole thing.
The amount of time, as you saw with the other gallery, right? That's it's probably 95% of the way there.
That gallery consists of 153 photos. Those are our blog post photos. So those are our favorite photos from the day, and usually I would spend maybe like half a day or maybe, quite a few hours to edit those photos to make them consistent. And as we did, we spent how much time? Like
10 minutes.
10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah. And everything is like almost there.
Yeah. So you call them blockbuster photos?
Blog posts. Like the ones, if you go on our website.
Blog posts.
You'll find that set of photos on the website.
Nice. And that's kind of like your sneak peeks as well? Or those come after sneak peeks?
Those come after sneak peeks. Yeah. Sneak peeks are a much smaller set.
Okay. And those, do you usually call the sneak peeks?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the rest of the images get sent to your friend.
Yes.
And then, so I imagine that sneak peek process too, even like just gradually getting so much faster with culling it and then just throwing them in Lightroom or not Lightroom, Polarr Next.
Polarr Next. Well,
Throw it
basically,
in
yeah.
there and then bam.
Yeah, so those 10 to 15 photos can be a very good reference photos because we tend to pick them from different parts of the day, like getting ready, like portraits, ceremony, reception with different lighting. So it can basically provide pretty cohesive, gallery for us.
That's good. Yeah, thank you so much for bringing me through your workflow on Polarr Next. It was really cool actually just exploring all the new features and stuff. There's some new things that you guys hadn't seen yet. This build fresh out the oven from Derek. Thank you so much for sending that. But yeah, what was your experience checking all that out and editing through everything?
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. It was it's great to see all the feedback that the Polarr team incorporates into Polarr Next, and seeing everything just like work in real time, just so fast on the computer in front of us.
Yeah. Annie, got anything?
We feel very blessed to be a part of this whole journey. Yeah. Every time we meet up with them, provide some feedback, next thing coming back, boom, everything's fixed and with more features. Every time they're like, can you please, guys, can we like, please try this new feature? And every time we see them, we're very impressed, very blown away by the efficiency and, just the quality of the whole thing. It's just mind blowing. And I think it will be super, super helpful in our daily, routine when it comes to editing, call-in editing. It's going to save us so much time.
One final question, and this is something that they've asked me and some other people, and I'm sure they asked you too, but do you feel like it's almost there, or is it there already to just start using already and start exporting client work and everything like that?
I feel like it's almost there now with the sky and the subject filters. That those were so important to us, and I'm so happy that they implemented these guys. As what we tried out 10 minutes ago, I feel like it was so smooth and. This gallery, I can probably edit this one. I can probably do a little bit of additional editing on some of the photos and then deliver them to the clients directly.
Yeah. And have you delivered anything from Polarr Next to clients?
I'm sorry, but we have not yet.
That's okay. That's what I asked.
We have not yet, but hopefully in the near future we will.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I hope to connect with you guys again in the future, perhaps when we get the full build out and everything like that, and we'll reconnect and see if Polarr Next has become more of a cornerstone in your guys' workflow.
Yeah. And next year we have a wedding in Hawaii, so maybe we'll pick you up.
No way. What island? Is it my island?
Either end of August.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing those photos. It's gonna be awesome. All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right,
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Well, that about wraps up my conversation with Annie and David about Polarr Next. If you want to experience it for yourself, scroll down to the beta link in the description, use the access code NEXTBIGTHING and test it out. Tell us how it went down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay connected with all things Polarr Next, and we'll see you on the next one.